Alright, today we'll be making simple meat pies. I should say some simple meat pies. You want to get your produce to start. I already have gotten my produce here. I get it out of the cellar. I had started to clean it up and I was like, oh, I should show that at the same time on the video. So anyways, grab yourself a knife. And you're gonna want, roughly about 2 pounds of potatoes. Like I say, I already started cleaning up some of this. Okay, you want yourself a little container to put your little ends in and stuff. All right, so just clean up your potatoes, get little bits off and stuff like that. Not really hard. Okay. Just clean up your potatoes. Right. Okay. Now, clean up the ends of your carrot. Alright. Any big blemishes, just take off like this. So let's talk. Alright, a little rub. That's all it takes. Alright. A little discoloration I don't really want right there. You don't need a peeler to peel a carrot. And we're not going to peel the potatoes. So that's it. We are going to wash them. Alright, so anyways, I should show you. That's roughly in this here potatoes here. You can see size and the smaller one here. Right here I got about 2 pounds of potatoes. So I'm gonna just throw that in the sink real quick. And this carrot here, is I guess say it's roughly about a half a pound, this carrot. So you're gonna want that. Now you're also going to want, some people, it's kind of funny, I play a game online and a guy watches my video, said, hey, show me how to cut some onions. I don't like crying and I don't like cutting myself. I'm not no professional onion cutter or anything. But anyways, if you can start with your big knife. Anyway, just pull off your thing. I give it a little peel back when I get to the other side. And then I'll do the opposite here. Anyways, peel back to this side. So then you get like 2 clean sides. Now anyways, you'll be able to just peel your onion halfway. Peel this onion halfway. Now for those who cry, throw it in the sink too. Okay. Oh, just move that off. Okay, anyways, we'll just cut the top of the onion off. Peel down a little. It didn't go that much, that one. There's not that much peel on this onion. Okay, so yeah, you can see it's really thin peel. Okay, anyways, just get it off there. Okay, there we go. And nice onion there. Put it in the sink too. Should have showed you all 4 onions. You're gonna want about to say 2 pounds, I would say, of onions is roughly what you're looking for here. Okay, get you under there. Alright. Alright. If you've got chickens, give this to your chickens. There's still a lot they can pick through in there. One more. Alright. There we go. Alright. Now my produce is down in the cellar, so I had to go down and get it. That's why I didn't take the time to take this in the scene. Sometimes I have the more produce out, but right. All right. There we go. Anyways, skin off. Yeah. All right. Hey, get down. Get. Don't meow me. Sorry, it's the cat giving me some attitude. Just finishing to eat. Licking her lips. Wants to see what I'm doing. All right, we're gonna wash some produce here. Anyways, this here and onions. Shut that off here. Let me just show you here. Roughly, this here and onions here is roughly 2 pounds. Anyways, maybe a slightly less, but I was including a little bit of skin that I had on it. All right. Carrot, potato, 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 potato. All right, get yourself a measuring cup. Fill it up with some water. Okay, you want one of these right away. And you're gonna come over to here now. And we're gonna put that there. Let's pull out a big pot here. We're gonna start with this one here. Okay, I can see that's good in the camera. So anyways, okay, we're gonna put this up on, I put mine on max. I'm gonna put that into here. Not measuring it or anything, we're just making sure there's, you know, good centimeter of water to start on the bottom. Now my potatoes and everything are all nice and clean. I'm gonna start off with my carrot right away. And I'm just gonna start slicing this up. Right into here. I'll show you some slices when I'm done. Okay, now when I start to get up to the thicker part of the carrot here, I'm going to flip it in half. I'm going to cut halfway up here, just like I'm not pushing hard so I don't go slicing into my hand. My hand is against my hand here, so it's not just going to slide up. I'm going to go almost to the top of the carrot and I'm going to stop, and then I'm going to go across the two, and I'm going to do the same thing here. Now I'm going pretty thin here, so they cook faster. Carrots take longer to cook than the potato. So get them in. All right, so I guess you can see, I guess to say a different thickness level there, but you know I'm not going any more than no thicker than that at all, and you know most of that is I cut that in half. You can see, you know, it's just more or less of a wedge. Anyways, just get that in. I can already see the little bubbles starting here. Get your potatoes in. All right. Now I'm gonna cut my potato up the middle in half, then quarter. And I'll do the same thing I did to pretty much to the carrot, just to get a better grip on this. All right. Next potato, right up the middle. All right. All righty. Now we got these guys in. It's finished. I should say that my meat pie is not a very meaty meat pie. I don't make a side dish with my meat pie. I put my side dish in my meat pie. So that's essentially kind of what I'm doing right now. So anyways, you know, if you can eyeball how much you roughly have in not in toppings, I mean in filling or whatever, you get an idea here. So anyways, I got the carrots and that. Now I'm gonna get a cup of peas. Okay, we got a cup of peas here. Alright. Okay, so about a cup of peas in here. I like peas, I'll add a little more. Alright, they're just frozen peas. Alright, so we got this in here now, okay. Get the lid on. Alright, we're just going to let that boil. We're going to get some more water right now. Just put a little more in here. You want to just get over your potatoes. Do not put more water than required. Just a little over your potatoes. As it cooks, things will soften up. You can always add a drop more of water along the way. Okay, just over the potatoes. Alright. Now, there. So, I had about show you. I had about this much here in potatoes and carrots, and then now it's about this much in water right now. Now I'm gonna start my meat. You can get another cup of water ready for that. All right, put that there. Alrighty, so we're going to get our meat in here. I'm going to throw this on max 2. Just throw the lid down here. I'm going to put just a little water in here for now. Just, about, again, another centimeter, maybe even a dash less. Okay, come back over here. Grab my meat. Now, to explain my meat here, I would usually do a little more. I'd put in a straight pound. If it was a ground beef right from the store, I'd use a pound. This is my own ground here. It's single ground. It's not double ground like you get at the grocery store. I don't know if you can see it. So I don't know if you can see the marbling more or less. To buy how I buy my meat, it was far cheaper to ground my ground beef myself. So anyways, these are about 6. This is about a 6 ounce, 6.5 ounce, up to 7. Anywhere between 6 and 7 ounces of meat. So anyways, this is about 3/4 of a pound in here. Maybe a little more, maybe closer to 13 ounces of meat. Probably closer to 13 ounces of meat than 12. But anyways, you can go up to 16 ounces of store ground beef if it's double, because this is a single ground, unlike the double ground at the store. So you're going to get a more, you're going to feel there's more meat while you're eating it, but it's not going to feel like a stringy meat like it's a piece of steak or something. It's going to feel like ground beef, just like there. Now, the reason I like doing it this way is because of putting this in as a filler. It's going to give the illusion and the texture and everything that you're eating good meat pie. Flavor will all be there. Especially with the grounding it myself, I was able to control the fat contents. Lean ground beef is all great, but my cooking, I don't sit there and add lots of oils and lots of fats in the cooking process, like margarines and stuff. I usually only use it when required, where required, and not, like gonna fry an egg and something like that, So, anyways, that's why it's in a container here myself too. So we'll just set this aside too. All right. We got this is already boiling. You can season your meat a little bit. The seasoning I'm going to give in here is the seasoning essentially for everything. But again, it's always to your liking of how you want something seasoned. So if you want to start seasoning, you're going to want salt. If you feel like measuring everything, you're going to start with the salt in the meat here. You can go ahead and put yourself 2 tablespoons of salt. Now, don't put, I wouldn't say put more than that. Let people put their own salt on. You can put a little less. I'm going to put a little less for myself. I'm not such a salty person, but I know everybody salts my food more. So I'm just going to put about a 1.5 in there. Alright. Now, I like pepper myself. You're going to want some pepper in there. Now, you want about a tablespoon, depending on your liking. I'm going to heap it a little bit myself. I like pepper. Alright. Now you're going to want some garlic powder. Go ahead and put yourself fresh garlic in there to your liking. Anyways, it's not going to hurt nothing. I just use the convenience behind it. Alright, so I like garlic powder. I'm going to put 2 in myself of this. So we're flying here with the alright, 2 of these in there. Right, I'm actually going to rinse out that spoon. Alrighty, a little bit of steam there. Still moisture on the neck. A little bit of steam made the garlic powder stick there. Just throw that back up. Come close. That back up. Alright, now I'll get some parsley. I like 2 of these also. Wherever you use parsley and garlic, you should use parsley. You won't have the bad breath or odors from it. So anyways, okay, so we got meat is all seasoned essentially. Throw your lid on your meat. Alright, you're good there. You may need a dash more water. Don't forget to keep the water in there. Alright. Alright, we got a good boil on the potatoes. I'm going to put it aside like that so it doesn't make all that noise. It's probably, I don't know what that was going to sound. I just thought I didn't know what it was going to sound like on the video, all that clanging like that. So anyways, we'll just put it aside like this. Alright. I'd have the fan on, but you wouldn't hear anything I'd say or anything. So anyways, we're going to get a big spoon, a big one, so we can break things and mix things. Oh, over here. I'm going to get a spoon like this here. And now I'm just going to get in here a little white. Turn it. Alright. Next piece. Alright, turn it. And break that up. Alright. I also find that defrosting home ground meat, single ground, always seems to defrost a lot nicer. Alright, just go like that, go like that. Alright, set that here. Better yet, bring that over here and set it right in there. Right, this already. Okay, nice here. All right. Okay, so what you're also gonna want, should say is some other seasonings is going to be put in here. Now you're going to want to do that now. You could have did it right before you did the meat, makes no difference. Depending on if you had a bigger chunk of meat, then maybe you would want to do it now. If you have even smaller pieces of portion of meat, you could have done it. Anyways, slow this down a dash if you want. Alright. We're going at full throttle right now. And get yourself cinnamon and cloves. What you're going to want, some cinnamon. Now, you're going to want 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. And you're going to want that in your potatoes, carrots, and peas. Alright. Got that. You'll want 2 whole cloves. It's basically, there's a big one and there's a small one, so. Okay, so here you're gonna want 2 cloves. Anyways, those are 2 little cloves. Put those in the boiling water of the potatoes and carrots too. Alright. Now you can use your spoon back and forth, that ain't gonna hurt nothing. The only reason I'm doing this is because you can't mash the meat because of my texture, the little bit of more texture I have. Trying to mash it later makes it really, really hard. So anyway, just get everything in here mixed up nice. It smells nice. Oh. Alright. You can use ground clove if you want. I've just always liked the surprise of finding it, in the 100 or 200 bites of all the pies you're gonna have or whatnot, to be the one that bites into it and you get that little kind of sour face there. I like it, in your mouth kind of goes a little numb. But anyways, I like this clove. So your next step will be the onion. Let's flip this board. I like to use the backside for onions. Okay. Now, the guy I play online the video games with, whatnot, Mr. Kanabi, he was saying, he doesn't like cutting his fingers or crying. So I had these sitting in the sink and I cut the ends off right away. And a lot of the odor, like I don't have a single tear in my eye. I don't even feel anything. Now, I've done a lot of onions in my life and a lot of cooking too. And one Christmas I actually did 150 pounds of it in about chopping in about a 3-hour span in a small room. And after about 20 minutes I was all teared out, and I've never felt a tear since from an onion. But I have felt the welling, when it burns you a little bit, I can sense it. You can cut onions different ways. There's people that like to cut onions this way. People like to cut onions this way. I guess it's kind of how you want your cut to be. I like to cut my onion in half myself. It's maybe not the most proper or best way, but without cutting my finger, I'm not cutting my finger, rest the knife more or less against it. I cut it into little wedges myself. When I get to the top, you get back to this side here and you go again and do it. And then I like to turn my onion to the side now. And usually the smaller I'll keep to the back side, and the fatter side I'll start cutting first. But I'm not very good at cutting onions, but I always have to cut them in all my stuff. So anyways, that's about me cutting an onion. So, it's probably my biggest piece. We're to break them right up, that's about my big piece right there. So, anyways, just cut them like this. cutting onions on camera, like chopping anything on camera. You never know if you slip or do something stupid. So anyways, that can go right into the meat. Now you can stir your meat up. Okay, add yourself a little water. Smells like a nice gravy in here too. Alright. Should show you that, well, I can show you or tell you, but almost done here in a second. Alright. Get them both, I guess. That's all right now. That's my two little golf balls that are left of the frozen meat out of the freezer. So add a little, get some more water handy. Okay. Keep your eye on your potatoes. Give them a stir to get down to the bottom, and the carrots and that might be at the top, not cooking as much. All turned in there. All right. Now you don't want to have a lot of water. That's why. Now I'm starting to see the tops of the potatoes and everything now. That's why I'm gonna have to keep stirring this. It's because I want to actually cook down this juice and the potato starch and everything and the carrot and everything. I don't actually want to throw that out. So anyways, we're gonna get this onion. Well, cut a bit of piece there. So I'm gonna cut up this onion. Alright. Now, okay. Cut your onion. Alright. Right. You may think it's not a lot of meat for a meat pie, because you know meat pies you think just meat, but everybody always serves like a whole portion of, you know, a vegetable and then mashed potatoes and all this other stuff with it. And I've just never understood that, you know, once you eat it all up, it's just, I end up usually taking a bite of everything at the same time anyways. It tastes great anyways. I'd put it all together. Now, the reason I'm gonna mash everything is, especially if you have children, it's a good way to hide the vegetables. It's a good way to hide the vegetables from them, and they won't even know that they're there. I've always preferred a good portion of vegetables and things, so there we go. Right. Right, that's just a little ball bearing now. Alright. Don't want to make this soupy at all here. You're looking to keep it essentially just thick the whole time. That's why you're over here keeping track of it. I like to cook right where I'm usually doing most of my work, so I can keep an eye on it. Anyways, this is pretty much done here. Alright. Just one little, I have like one little ball bearing left, and he's soft. Literally just this little teeny weeny thing here. The other one's already dissolved. Anyways. Oh. Alright. Nice. Now, you'll notice I never took, I think I said that I never took the peels off. Oh, come on, get off there. I never took the peels off or anything. And the peels are going to make it a little hard to mash, but the peels are going to turn into a little texture themselves, making it feel a little more like the meat pie and a little bit of the texture of meat. So, pretty much done this, so we can shut her off. There. Now, if you were to see here with the onion. Like onion, the way it cooks, you barely tell it's in meat. The way I see it. Right now, I'm up to about this up here with looks like to be meat. I should have shown. Well, I wanted to put the onion while I was cooking and save some time, but I should have showed you how the meat fluffs up. It looks more. The 12, 13 ounces of my own ground looks like a pound of double ground that you get cook at the store the same way. The way it just fluffs out and the way it just looks. So, and I get the exact fat contents that I desire to my leanness level, I guess to say. I don't know how fat I am, but so okay. This is pretty much done. Close this off. Now this we can reduce a little more. It's pretty much there. Give it another. I can cut the potatoes in half here, no problem. All right. Okay. Now, if you had too much water in here, the concentration level of flavor wouldn't be as strong, and you want a strong concentration flavor in here to penetrate the carrot and penetrate the potato and the peas. So that's what it's doing in there right now. So you can set aside your cutting board and everything. This is pretty much set and ready to go. Okay, I'm going to take this aside here too. Alright, put the water we'll need again, so I'll just actually set that up here. Now we're going to get into, I guess, this is kind of like part one that we're going to still have to come back to. We're going to get into the part two part. Kind of I want to make a video separately, but it's kind of required in making this video, so I'm going to be making the dough. Now with the dough, you're going to want, it's one way or the other. It's either frozen flour and room temperature, whether you're using lard or butter or margarine, or you want to go, frozen and shave it and use room temperature flour to a degree. A lot of people go that way because they don't store their flour. I store mine in the freezer. So get yourself your flour. Just wipe this down real fast here. You want to get yourself a big bowl. Get yourself, I like to get myself 2 forks, you know, but you're gonna want to get yourself a, you know, I like my big fork and I like my, oh, I should move the camera over now to be able to over into this area. Alright, so, okay, so I like my big fork and I like my regular standard fork, you know, that you eat with, adult fork, I should say. Anyways, this one here is going to be good for what we're going to do. You're going to want 4 cups. I'm using 4 cups of cold flour and half a pound of butter. All right. Mine comes out of the freezer, and I don't mind measuring a little high on my cups, you know, like, you know, a little more than each, you know, I don't have to be perfect. But, so 3 and number 4. Okay, so, you know, I might have about 4 1/4 cup in there, you know, somewhere closer to that. I don't make perfect here. Okay. Now I like to use a stainless steel bowl because it really keeps the cold, like it feels like it's frozen right now. So anyways, you want a butter knife. Butter knife, get yourself half a pound of butter. Now if you have I left mine out on the counter straight out of the, you know, I keep mine in the freezer, but essentially what I did is I left mine out on the counter over here the last time I was cooking, so I got a pretty soft butter. But anyways, we're just gonna go cut right down the middle here. Easy. And put that in there. And that's it. Now, I'll put that back in the fridge for my consumption of regular butter. Alright. Now, grab this. And this. There we go. Alright. Over there. Over here. Alright. Do a little quick stir here. Alright, nice. You're doing good over here. Alright. Always try to keep your carrots of everything in here. Make sure try to keep your carrots under the juice themselves, because again the hardest thing to cook in here. Now you can pretty much turn her down a little more if you want. She's almost cooked. We're going to just shut her down there. I'm gonna go, so I was at max half and now I'm pretty much low. You can go right down max, medium, low there on this one. So now we're going to get back over to this. Now, don't try clumping it all at once. Break it back into the flour itself. Oh, the middle's still a little firm, not hard, but firm for sure. Alright, so use the flour itself to continuously break it up a little more at a time. And you're like, I guess, shaving off the side of the flour and letting each shaving get covered in flour. The flour is so cold that it will essentially just mix nicely with it. There's so many ways and recipes, you know. I like them all. I've never been a big fussy guy with crust. You can give me a dry crust, a thick crust, a moist crust. As long as it's not way undercooked, I tend to be okay. Or way overcooked that it turns into rock. Alright. Give you a good little workout here. It's not quick. Now they have a tool for this. It kind of looks like that, but like I guess a whisk. It's like three pieces of a harder whisk, that you can, and you push down with it, with a handle, and like 3-4 wires that'll do this job a lot easier. Now, alright. I say alright, I guess a lot. I guess because I'm not having problems. Alright. Now that's why I bring another fork here too. Because I got a pretty nice chop on this now. And now if you use your other little fork, you can chop it up even finer. Right. Now you're looking to make this you're really, I guess, as grainy as you're willing to make it. You don't want to have lumps of butter in here, big clumps and lumps of it. So that's why I just using a hard bowl so I can chop up bigger clumps and then just break them down with the side of the fork. You can continue using this one if it's it's easier. But that's pretty much. I'm pretty much almost done here. You can even do this in a food. I know you could do it in a food processor. Probably work pretty nice. All right. Okay. Now, don't be afraid to get your hands dirty, as you will anyways. And now you can grab little clumps that you feel too big, and just literally like squish them until they go like that. And you'll see this is really cold in here because of the flour. So if you just go like that and give them little squishes, you'll literally make the you'll just gets really grainy. You don't want to try to do that with the whole clump of butter, or all you do is have buttered, greasy fingers. Okay, so I just twist. It's just like twisting in like this. You're just rubbing it out. And you're looking for the big clumps. Make sure to grab a lot of flour at the same time and right. It's pretty nice. Now I made extra flour, like I made a little extra. That's just because I like to always make extra dessert and never worry about not having enough also dough. But I always use my leftover dough every time. Alright, well, we're pretty much done here. Now what we're going to try to do, we're going to get this into essentially a big ball. I guess to say I'm not never measured out this before. I just eyeball it in there. I always have. But make yourself a little pocket hole, I guess, in the middle. There's a half a cup of, just over half a cup of water there. Anyways, lukewarm. About a half a cup there. I guess I'll use the fork to stir it first. So I just stir in the middle. What I do, I'm not trying to work the dough at the moment. I'm just trying to get it all to come together. So you'll see it get to a point where it's very starting to get really thick. just add more water to it. Don't over water here. Very carefully not to over water. It'll sort of look like cottage cheese because of the butter clumps. But yeah, you don't want no more than, don't use warm water, no more than lukewarm. Cold water is preferred. You could even, I use pretty cold water myself. Nothing over lukewarm because you don't want to melt the butter here. Trying to keep things cold. Alright. This out here. Now a lot of people will let dough rest. I've never personally cared what if you let the dough rest. You always thought grandma's dough always tastes so good, but it's because grandma always made a lot of doughs at the same time. And then she would divide them up, and because of all that time for dividing, all that divide time and the sit time that the dough gets, that's its own rest time. But she makes so many at one time. I can't remember ever trying just to make one dough other than in school, or one pie other than in school. Just a huge waste of effort and time to just do one. So, anyways, and I'm not trying to work it, I'm just trying to get everything put together in here. So I'm more or less, yes, working it like a snowball the best I can. Keeping it sticky and then turning it on itself. And everybody's got a different technique for this. So I'll do a little squish just to make sure to bring it all together. Not hard squish, just to like put little dents in, like that, so that the whole thing wants to stay together. And you pick it up and flip it onto the other side. Because you don't want it too wet, too dry. You want to go over so you're putting way too much flour in, and you're going to have if you put too much flour ratio to your fat contents, you're going to get the stiffer it is. The more oils you use, I guess, the softer of a dough you're going to start to get. But I'm just putting in, I guess I was close to about 1.5 cups of water in all. But yeah, it's pretty much done here. Smell everything over here already. It's all completely done. Alright. Alright, in the bowl. Off. Alright. Alright. Turn it once on itself if I can. There. Pretty moist. I always keep a little spare flour by the oven. Just a dash. Just to make it a little easier to handle. That's all it is, but it's super moist. That's the important thing. Like if I shake it, I'm not gonna try to squish it, but you can see it's my hand, it just droops down into it. So anyways, that I'm just gonna leave like this. So my bowl is basically dusted, the flour is dusted, was not sticky, but it still had a little tack to it. And now it's like that, so it's super soft. I'll let it sit just for a bit myself. Pretty much just gonna turn this. Cut some carrots up here. Yeah, looks like this is all done. All right. Yep. All right. I'm gonna shut the oven off over here now. Okay, so this is finished. What else is there? Okay, no, nothing else. I just got to get this. Just not trying to get ahead of myself here. I know it's not going to edit this out. Okay, so you're going to cut yourself out. Now I said I was making 4 pies out of this, so let's take the water out of here. And get some this area down here. Not that wet at all. Alright. Okay, I know I said I was gonna make this is for 4 pies, but I was gonna make 2 of my regular pies and then a what people consider, I guess, a regular pie, what I consider a really big pie. So if you cut first in half, your dough right in half, okay, and then like you can, I guess you can start. You can see the tack, I guess. Yeah, it's still a little sticky. Okay. I don't want dry dough here. So anyways, okay, but see, there's no stick here. So now you're gonna cut your other one in half. Now that right there, that's your top and your bottom. Usually I leave a little extra flour out here. Okay. Anyways, that's gonna be your top. That's gonna be your top and your bottom right there. You're gonna cut it in half, but I'm not gonna cut it in half yet. Put it back in the bowl. Grab your next one. Grab them both. Put them back in the bowl. Try not to let them stick to each other. Now, this isn't for my big pie. This is going to be also for my a dessert that I plan on making. But it's basically, I always make a little extra, but it's what you can do with your leftover. So instead of cutting it in half, I'm going to cut it a little over more, just so I can have a little more dough for this one. All right, so there. And 1, 2. There we go. So now we got all 3 doughs. So now I can put my knife back aside. You keep out your forks nearby. Anyways, I'm gonna put some more flour here in the middle now, and I'm going to take out my well, I should say this is size-wise, it's my medium. My regular size dough. Okay, so I'm going to cut it in half first, like this. Okay, now I know that this does my top and my bottom, so I'm going to put one there, put this one aside right away. You can always judge which is the biggest and which is the smallest by the best you can. Take your biggest you have and use it for the bottom. Alright, so now what I like to do is I like to push my dough all inside here like that, and at the same time I like to pat it around like this. Now you're not looking to squish your dough. I do this a lot, kind of like I would do a homemade pizza. So anyways, always bring dough back into your middle when you're flipping, and again I'm just going to go around real lightly like that. What I'm trying to do is just keep a circular shape, I should say. So anyways, don't push too hard when you start. Just crisscross, back and forth, and don't do the same pattern back and forth. Just constantly try to move. Now if you need, you just push into your sides, push back down a little, and you'll keep a nice circle. Don't get too big on yourself. Flip it and get it to the other side. Now, like that. Now you can start to add a little pressure, and it's the flour. See how it just stuck a little? It's the flour on the back side that's getting into the pores that you stretched that actually allow it to stay in size. So now you can go like that. Now you don't have to keep a perfectly circled dough. And I make my doughs a little bigger than they need to be because I plan on having the excess. Now if you could see this, even if I brought the camera close, you wouldn't see it as well. But there's you can clearly see the what do you call it, butter in here in like little tiny clumps and lumps. So you or little tiny, I should say, more or less like shards. Okay, now this is pretty much the size I need. You can go a little bigger, like I say. The thickness, I don't know if you can see my thickness of my dough here. Try to keep my hands there to show that. Now I fold the dough in half, at least, and then usually again like that. I'll get my pans out and ready here. Okay, so this is like a normal size pie. I reuse my pie containers. So anyways, you're gonna go like that, like this, and like that. Now, another thing that I do is I leave them in a little bigger than they need to be. All right. Because by the time I come back to use them, they'll have shrunk a little bit. Now I'm just gonna set this on my counter side over here. And that I know is a top. So I'll grab my next one, throw a little flour again here. Ready, a little turn. All right, cut this one in half. All right, do this one. Now again, just tuck and push back your, make it into a nice little circular shape. All right. Oh, a little crooked there. Pushed a little too hard on one side. Kind of stuck. Need a little more flour there. All right. No harm, no foul. Okay. That's far big enough. All right, a little shake. Make sure you got a little flour still, a little stick still there. Make sure you get enough flour underneath there. Doesn't stick to your pan. There, there. All right, shoot in here. D. Right. That one there. Now we'll get our biggest dough here. All right. All right. Cut it in half. Nice. Now this one here, I almost should have shown it, is a thicker, deeper one, bigger around. You can see two of those are the two sizes the same. This one's a little bigger, and that one will be for my dessert one that I'll be making. Anyways, just do that. And then here, like this, like that. Now, the reason I fold up that and move them the way I do is just so I don't. It's harder to tear your dough if you do that. So when you're moving them, if you try to pick up your dough, it's really hard. So if you move it in half, you can usually my dough can move when I fold it in half, easy enough, without ever worrying about tearing. But if you fold it into quarters, it's even easier. Now, like I say, you get that little drag that hangs around there. Don't worry about that right now. Leave it there. Okay. Now, that extra piece that I have in my bowl here is considered as my leftover. I should have made could have made 3 cups really, but I'm making and had enough. But I want to make a little extra, which will be another video I'm gonna make for that. But anyways, I got this here, getting ready. So now I'm gonna start with the lids here for the meat pies. Before I do the lids and I start them, what I'm gonna do is come over here. This is really nice looking. I don't know, say if you can oh, I should move the camera back this way real quick. Alright, here we go. Anyways, you can see right here, it's a really nice ground here. Maybe you can get a little bit closer there if I can. So with the onion and all the flavors I put in there, it's smelling great. And you can see maybe you can see how there's still let's see if I can go down in here. You can still see there's some juice in there. Not very much. There's probably less than all of it would be probably less than a 1/4 cup of juice in here. You can see in here that clearly how much not juice there is. There's probably less than 1/2 cup of water in here. So what I'm going to do here is grab the masher, my potato masher, and I'm going to actually just mash all of this by hand. Yeah, I wouldn't use a food processor here. If you turn it into too much of a paste mush, it won't have the texture you're looking for. You don't have to be too crazy on the press. Just got to make sure that you can't identify really anything very much. Like you'll still know there's peas and carrots in there, but it won't be so easily identifiable. More importantly, you won't be able to pick it out. Okay. Now, this is close to the consistency of mashed potatoes once you've added just the butter and not the milk yet. It's that thick. I guess I can take a scoop out of this and maybe, let's see, nice. Okay, make a mess. Okay, let's see the video. You can see now that's the mashed potatoes, carrots, and peas with my the cinnamon and now if you were to see this from, I don't know how good of a view my camera is, but that almost looks like ground beef itself right there, pretty close. Now I don't know how close, and again how good of a camera my camera is here, but I don't know if you can see a little bit of the pea, the carrot. But anyways, that's done. Okay. Put that in the sink. If I can, I guess I can maybe see it doesn't even flow down, so it's not like soup or anything in here. It stays up and it's thick. This here does flow down. It is still juicy. Okay. So now when I put that in here, the onions would have been hard to mash and the meat would have been really hard to mash. So, there, look, no burn. Alright, put that in the sink. And now we mix this all together. Now it's going to go to the consistency of, I'm not saying runny mashed potatoes, but how I like my mashed potatoes, a nice, you know, a nice decent thick creamy mashed potato, you know, with the milk and butter in them. But that's the consistency I'm looking for. You've seen my shepherd's pie video. It's pretty much that consistency. Very well mixed. Anyways, you can see it's very juicy now, and it's gonna survive the baking process. And then because I make so many, it'll easily survive the re-baking process when I cook them a second time, you know, from the freezer out. But anyways, it won't be all dry coming out of the freezer when I take them out. I don't know if I can. You see, now they start to move down, you can see. So now it's really hot, so of course fat or anything when it's hot is going to move around and be more juicy. Anyways, I know how much meat I have for my meat pies. I have a lot of filling here. Always feels like I have more than I need. But we're going to find out here. So anyways, doesn't make a difference because I always make plenty of extra dough when I do it. So we're gonna got that. We have the meat ready, so now we're gonna come back over here now, I guess, and make the tops to the dough. Alright, so let's start with this small one. Okay, now, or sorry, I didn't want to start with the small one. Guess I'll crush them all right now. Start with here, the biggie. Alright. Okay. Start with the big one here. Here. Now I'm not a thick crust myself kind of guy. Okay. Now I have my crust is ready. I'll give it a little flip here to make sure that it doesn't shrink too much. But that top is clearly the right size. Right, problem and some extra. Now what I'm going to do, I should whip back over here real quick now. Move this one over. I should move this right off the stove. There we go. Okay, what I'm going to do now is just take and fill my meat pies and try to evenly distribute them. Okay, now I should have done it right in that step. I should have went on the oven and turned the oven light on, 350 to the oven. All right, now move him there, move him over to here. And the next one real quick. Now try to be clean and not get any on the crust, on the sides of the crust. I know it kind of sounds stupid, but I plan on myself reusing the crust, what I'm going to be, you'll see, taking off. So I don't want to have dirty crust, meat flavored there for dessert. Okay, so nice. Look, no burn. Okay, so those are real nice heats. Very nice. Some more on this one. Nice. And just a dash more on this one. Okay. Now, that's two. Alright. Okay, so I have very high in the fillings, but there's still a lot once it sits out to be nice and even in here. Now, what I'm going to do here, okay, so now I got all my pies are all ready, and I can just start loading on the lids. Everything's rolling. Come back over to here. Try to get the pies back there too. Okay, so anyways, I'm going to take my dough here, or my big pie dough. I'm going to do the full half I did again and the quarter that I did again, very neatly this time. I'm going to take out I use my big fork. Don't come out here. It's going to be a lot bigger than you think. Just take off a little teeny weeny little lot. I personally love to eat this little piece. I have since I've been a child. And then I do usually 3 all the way through and wiggle. Don't be scared of it. Like, go ahead and wiggle. It ain't gonna hurt nothing, okay? So go ahead, make 3. You don't have to do it once, but okay, you're gonna go around like that. Then you're going to bring your pie over like this and take your and place it perfectly to the center of your pie, which isn't very hard. Push it to the side, over to the side. All your pie now has a nice holes. Nothing's shouldn't overboard. Then what I do is I take my big fork and I put my finger under that lip and I just press along like this myself, like this. Alright, give it a little turn. What this is doing is it's sealing the edge of my crust all the way around. Okay, now what I do here, this is why I made sure it was important not to get meat or anything on the sides, is I'm going to push down on the edge of it. You don't have to hold it or anything, but I'm going to push down on the edge of it in like a shearing motion, I guess you'd call it. So just going to go like that. Now you don't have to turn it or anything like that. You just go all the way around like this. I guess what a scissor almost does. Okay, now you've got a pie that's done all the way around like that. That's the first pie done. You take your leftover here with no meat, juice, or anything on it, and you start your next dough. Alright, so, okay, we'll turn there. Alright, now we're in 15 minutes already here. Wow, I didn't think this video was going to be this long, but I guess what do you expect when you're making pies? Alright. Alright, so now we got this one's done nicely, okay. There, done. We're going to just, again, cover it like this, put it like this, cut just a little teeny weeny piece off. Put in 3 little wiggles. Now, I said I could show you different things. If you want, you can put a little tiny nick in here like this too. That don't hurt nothing. Eat that. Put a little nick in there too, like that. It won't hurt nothing. Alright. Now again, aim for the center when you do this. This is why it's important to fold your dough all proper. So now you have a few little bigger holes here if you want. Like that. Now, again, just go around, putting in alright. Oh, I should have showed a different edge, I guess. I'll try to show a different edge if I can remember on the next one. Alright, this is that one. Keep your little side there. Right, a little more flour here. Okay. This one here. Alright. Clips. Right there. Alright. Okay, you can just go like that if you want. Be no different. From the side here. Okay. That in the middle here. Make sure you not to pull that wedge apart. Keep the wedge together. Go like that, like that, like that. And like that, like that. They should just be nice little slits to a degree. Alright, now this one here, just go ahead and lob off the, without making that presentation, go ahead and just lob it off. See how nice I can do this one. I usually just make my fine edge like that. But if you feel like going around, being a little more fancy, different, what you're going to do is you're going to hold the dough down with 2 fingers. You're going to take your, can you see, okay, 2 fingers this way. You're going to hold the dough down and you're going to take your other finger and drag back. So what's going to happen, and then in the same spot you're going to leave a space where you just did it. You're just going to continuously move around like that. Okay. The point of pushing down is to seal the dough. That's why you have to push down hard enough, and the drag back will help seal it too. So this is how you get a simple little butter on the finger there. Alright. Now you can see there's a little crowned edge pie, I guess, so you can see the edging on this pie here, what it looks like. And it's not no special. Okay, and then you can see my bigger one here. I'm gonna put him in the back in the oven. Okay, you can see my little dimpled edge here. Alright, so we're going to set him to the side here. Alright, in the back. Big one to the back. And this is the bigger of the small. I'll put him in the back too here. Now, I would usually put one big pie here, my 2 smaller ones here. But I happen to be making something with my leftovers right now. This is going in the oven. You're going to want a ½ hour on this. 240 minutes, depending on how thick you rolled out your dough. Mine's going to be a ½ hour and it will be cooked. So I'm just going to put that on right now. ½ hour and on. So I'm going to cut this and I'll come back, turn the video back on to be able to I guess to be able to make the clip for the taking out and showing you what's coming out of the oven. I'm just gonna come right back though, because I'm just gonna continue to use all the scraps that I did. I should show I guess this is the scraps that I got. All right, and that was the you know, that little piece of the dough left that I had left. So this here I'm going to be using in a video that I'm going to be cutting out of this video and just editing out, so I don't have to clean up and restart again. So anyways, 30 minutes and I should that pie will be ready to consume and eat. You can make yourself a gravy if you were going to eat one. Highlight gravy or ketchup myself on the pie. It's always good just itself. Alright, going beep 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 in 30 minutes here. I had about 10 minutes ago just taken my big pie and my two pies and just rotated them around in here to get them into the back so I can get even color on them. So anyways, here we go. There's the first one out. I don't know how I guess I'll bring the third one as a close up. I'll just take them all out for now and just give them back up. Alright. I'll put that one back further too. So alrighty. So as you can see, I don't know, you know, you got a nice gold color to her. Nice. Anyways, I'll bring I guess the nicest looking one is the big one. Try to get that to a nice close up there. See a nice goldy color there all over. As you can see, you don't see no big juice splatters. Like, get my hand out here. You can maybe see like there's a little juice that came out a hole here, and then another little bit right there. That's the extent to this juice. Now there is juice in here, I guarantee you that. But now I'm going to let these sit, and I'm actually not even going to. Now I had done another video, I think I explained a little before, to do with my leftover pie dough, so it's still in the oven. What I'm actually going to do is take these and just set them on the counter, on my ceramic counter over here. I'll bring one back in a bit. But it's just to help them cool off and let the sauce thicken. Alright. Anyways, so that's them coming out of the oven. When I go to cut into one in about 5 to 10 minutes before I cut into one, because I don't want the juice just to pour out and soggy up everything. I want the juice in there to sturdy up a little and cool it. It's way too hot. It's 350 degrees. So you can wait easy 5 minutes. 10 minutes you could probably do no problem, and it'll still be plenty hot to add something cold like ketchup and still be scalding your mouth. So anyways, see you in a few more minutes. All right. Okay. You see here, it's still very hot, but you know, I can keep my hand on it. I have let it sit out just maybe 11 minutes, 11 minutes. All right. Get ourselves a knife, fork, and a plate. Oh, the cats heard the plate sound and think it's for them. Alrighty, so let's just give a cut here. Seems really flaky. Alright. Alright, give her a little turn. You still see, I still see some steam coming off too, so it's still piping hot. See that steam, all the steam rising here right off the knife. Alright. Alright. Sure. Yeah. try to go in fast when you cut into a dough that's a little flaky so you don't destroy your dough. Alright, so the moment of truth here. I know we gotta really, I should get the thing to pull out the pie, I guess. Usually I just lug it out. Or I could probably just use my, okay, hang on, yeah, I still have my big fork here I could just use. Alright. Yeah. Worked fine. Alright. Alright, so that's our piece right there out. Alright. There. Alright. So, I don't know how good of a close-up with the steam you can get, but you know, you see a little bit of carrot here. I can't really point out, oh, there's a dash of pea there, but essentially, you just want to see if she's good. Bottom's cooked nicely. Perfect seasoning. Perfect seasoning. Oh yeah. Now I like to take a little bit of the crust with the first few bites, because the first few bites are always the most juicy. That is just awesome. Doesn't need gravy, doesn't need side dish, doesn't need ketchup. Eat it just like that. Always, hope you enjoy this. Hope you have the easy success in making a simple meat pie. It's a little bit of time, but mostly because I made, you know, the equivalent of 4. I made 3, you know, two like this. You know, if you see how thick, I guess to say, how thick the pie is and all, you know, it's you know, my pie's that thick, you know, and that's my small ones, you know, and I have my much bigger pie. So anyways, hope you like that, and I need to get move in to get out the dessert out of the oven anyways that I did with the leftover pie dough here. Alright, thanks. Any comments, just tell me. Now you can make a vegetable side topping on it. Anyways, I'll be working on the dessert. But anyway, that's for another video. So, see you in a bit.